Hi everyone, and welcome to the wonderful world of Twinchy magic. So I just want to show you, and I have dozens, so I will limit what I show you. Some of my, I'm going to say altered Twinchies, because some people might say, well, are those really Twinchies? Are they not Twinchies? Yes, they are. Your artwork is whatever you want it to be, and that's what these are to me. So I will simply show you some, and this is sort of like bonus footage because I did a video showing my hard case Twinchies, and I will attach a link in the description as well as in the comments to that series of videos, so you guys could check those out. You should really check them out. They're really, really different. And also they're hard case, so they're not the traditional, paper type Twinchies. Oh, this one shouldn't even be in here, really. Actually, yeah, it can be. So I'm also backing this up with information for people that collect buttons, because many, many times people ask me, like, what are some of the various ways they can display their buttons because they're simply in a case and no one can see them if they're piled on top of each other in a case. So this is one of the ways that I've come up with to display my buttons, but also to get my junk journal freak on, because I love junk journaling. And why do I love junk journaling? Because someone asked me that as well. I guess this is kind of turning into a little bit of a Q&A. I love it because of the variations, and the possibilities are, I know this sounds cliche, but truly endless if you are willing to step out on the ledge, but not jump. And what I mean by not jump is don't do what everybody else is doing. It's easy to, and I'm not bad mouthing what other people create, because those people inspired me to get started in this genre to, and that's 100. Like, if I hadn't seen their videos, there's no way I would have started in this genre. The only thing I did is I tried to take it to another level. So yes, and I actually have had people who have, honestly said some negative things about other people's artwork, and I totally find that 100% unacceptable, because first of all, what have you created lately? And secondly, how brave are you that you have put your work out there for other people to see? You really can't speak. You know what I mean? It's like, be nice, be kind, and let's create stuff together. So here you have this collection of Twinchies and different ways that I use them to display buttons without destroying, ruining, or altering the button in any type of way. The reason for that is I sew the buttons onto the cards. So if you use a button like a button, then guess what? Your button will not become ruined. So, and the other thing is, if you, look for acid-free type papers, if you can find it, you can also sew, like, you could actually create like your background for your Twinchy and then put a piece of material on top of it. And you can even layer material on top of it and then start to sew in. I kind of shape my paper first, and then after I've shaped it however I wanted to shape it, and I embellish it first, then I start the sewing process of putting, my Twinchies on there. This one features all Colt rock or Colt buttons. So this is a collection of Colt buttons, which is made from a material they called Colt rock. I live in Connecticut, where the company was founded and still is. And I added, yes, some other, like, there's this little level there. Why not? So I added still other little embellishments, whether they be paper, whether they be hard items, recovered items. Obviously, you can see this one. I even put a piece of cotton string on it. You can get as wild and crazy as you want with these, or you can be as conservative as you want with them. This one, I cut out the letter B from my sticker book. And these are Bakelite buttons. And I even wrote a little bit here about Bakelite buttons. And this one has boot buttons. So yes, people used to not have zippers and buckles. They would actually use buttons to keep their boots on appropriately. And this is it from a bracelet. And actually it was all gold. I actually used enamel paint to add the little red dots in the center. You can see how I sewed those on there. Add some more embellishment. And I do, as you guys know, usually I think the back of things should be as nice, or at least as, you know, something interesting, just like the front. These are wooden buttons. This is made by a famous wooden button maker, and I don't remember her name. So if you guys remember who she is, please write that down below. And someone told me that this one is also made by a particular button maker, but I don't know who that is. I don't know a lot about wooden buttons other than I like when they're like this one, you could tell it has such a patina to it. This one has such a patina. That one as well. This one is getting its patina, but it's not as dark as the others. And that's what I look for in wooden buttons, just nice, rich, warm colors. And obviously, if there's a splash of color, even better. And I used an old, what are they called? Playing card box to make this one. So it says playing cards. And some of these are also made using clothing tags. So, you know, you could use almost anything you want. This one is made, I believe, from a tea box. Yes, this came from a tea box. And this girl actually came from a children's storybook. And I made her so that she looks as if she's twisting this button. So you can get as creative as you want with these, you guys. And I layered this. This is 3 buttons layered on top of each other. Down at the bottom, there's a tag-a-one-up button. There's a pearlized orange button and a metal gold tone button on the top, which I believe is pierced. It has like that filigree to it. And once again, some cotton stringing. And this is what it looks like on the back. To hide how I made this, I added a button and a bow on the back. I did put some rod beads back there, as well as some silk leaves, some words, contents. Like I said, you could get as wild as you want with these, or you can be as conservative as you want. Let's see. Let's look at this one that has the celluloid buttons on it. The tag says Kings and Queens of Scotland, which was a book that I had recovered from a giveaway book sale. And here we have, you know, just different styles, even including this dome style of celluloid buttons. In the center, I put a piece of broken jewelry, which is this cameo, which is not a real cameo. It's like a costume jewelry cameo. And this one, I think I made also from a tea box. Nope, this one was from a paint sample from the home improvement store. So that's what I use for the tag portion of it. So as you can see, get wild. This one I created from a tea bag. And I used some cotton string, which I braided and, you know, tied off at the end. And these are just various pierced buttons because you could see through them. That's considered to be piercing. And here we have a gem in the middle and or open work. They're also called, they're made out of vintage plastics. Here's an owl from one of my sticker books. And yep, this is from a Bigelow Tea box. Bigelow Tea has really good, like, look at their tea bag holders, look at their boxes. You could recover some cool stuff from those that you can definitely use in your mixed media art junk journal journey. And let me just show you, because I keep talking about these sticker books. I have reviewed all of the sticker books except for this one. So I've actually taken people on a tour of these books so that they can see exactly what's in them. And also they can see, you know, how thick the borders are. Are these stickers really usable for, you know, artwork? And, you know, my rating of these books is like I'm going to say a B plus. And the reason why is because the borders can be very thick and you have to use your teeny tiny scissors to cut all the excess off around the stickers in order for them to look good when you stick them down on whatever you're sticking them onto. Here's another one that I have, the Botanist Sticker Anthology. There's a lot of these books out there, you guys, and they're at really good prices too. So if you want, like, I'm going to say 1,000+ stickers, definitely for 14, I would say between 12 and maybe $15, you can't go wrong with these books. They come in a hardcover, so they're easy for you to store. Also, what I personally do is I buy 2 of each book, one that goes into my book collection and the other one that I use for actually, you know, using the stickers out of it. Because if you only have one of them, then you're probably going to be like, oh, I don't want to ruin the stickers. I don't want to use them. And then the book just sits there and you don't use the stickers. So if you have 2 copies, you're covered. And, you know, just make sure, and they go on sale all of the time. There's no reason to ever buy them for full price. So that's just another tip. So here, this is a collection of various shapes, sizes, materials, methods of material buttons. So like this one is crocheted, but it also has this very fancy center to it. I believe that this one is probably from the late 1800s. We even have one here from the 1970s, which is this purple velvet button. I mean, how 1970s does that sound? And a lot of others are on here. I have to add the plaid. And this is what the back of this looks like. So as you can see, I think the backs look, you know, pretty interesting as well. And yes, a piece of a buckle from something is on there just to, you know, add some highlight. These are some character figural buttons. So they're all sorts of characters and figures. And I actually just decided to put a bunch of plastics, which is what these are all made out of, on here because, you know, these don't have like super high value. I used my stamps, and stamped out the word buttons. And this is what the back looks like. And you could, you know, still go further with decorating the backs if you wanted to. And this is a piece of material just because I felt like it needed like another texture. Now let's look at this one with the Tagawa nut. So these are Tagawa nut buttons, which Tagawa nut is an actual nut. It's actually something that comes in a giant pod. You break it open and the nuts are inside. I have an entire video talking about Tagawa nut vegetable ivory buttons. Some people call them ivory buttons. They're not like elephant or animal ivory. These are made from a nut. And then you can open this and you'll find there's a few more. So could I go further with this one? Yes, because it's not very, like the inside is very plain. But at some points I do feel as if I have to just stop. And what you see is a pomegranate with the leaves. And that came from a Trader Joe's grocery bag. Like I said, those Trader Joe's bags and stuff, you guys. And then here is one that has a bunch of enameled or painted highlighted buttons. And there's this fancy military one with a red, white, and blue enamel. There's this one, you can't see the enamel as well, but it's enamel highlighted. And obviously you could tell, and this silvery one has like this light blue highlighting. But that's what this features. And on the edge, I used some of that beading stuff that you can buy as a trim. And I added that to this. Oh, here are some bone. These are made all, wait a minute, let's fix that. These are made from bone, various types of animal bone, obviously, and they're carved, they're painted, just all sorts of style. Classic would be to find this. These are out there in abundance. What you don't find as often are these figural ones, with painted designs, etc. And this is a sticker stamp. It is not an actual stamp. And this was from a clothing label as well. The background of it, you can even see like that part of the ad. They were advertising something else. Sticker in the middle. Yes, I added some, what is this stuff called? Trim, I think. And another cotton string. I don't know why. I just kind of like having the extra string there because you can sort of hang these. Let's say it's a holiday season, or you're that guy, you're that gal, and you're like, you know what? It's a button holiday every day. Imagine having a little white tree and these are hanging from it all year round, maybe decorating your studio or something, or an office space, or whatever makes you happy, dressing room, your bedroom, whatever. Or at Christmas time, you could do a tree that's dedicated to something like this. But these are antique black glass buttons of all different types, shapes, just whatever. They're just a variety. Like this is a Victorian one right here. This one is a Czechoslovakian one right here. Czechoslovakian, Victorian. And actually this, I believe, is a black jet button, so it really shouldn't be on here because jet is not glass. And the list goes on. And that stamp you see in the middle, once again, from a sticker book. And the brown paper is from a Trader Joe's paper bag. Since I was cutting up the bag, I decided to use a piece of it as a background and then put it on top of this pretty, I think this is like scrapbook paper. And I just thought it sort of set it off even better. And inside there's a surprise, a big beautiful butterfly moth thingy. So we have that. And this will be the last one. Let's get this all in here together. And I hope you guys are doing really well. I hope you're enjoying the videos that I put out. There's a lot of work that goes into this because lots of creations must take place. So here we have what I will call the final one, which I think is very befitting because it's a heart. And I would like to, show this one and say thank you guys for your support of this channel. For those that watch the videos all the way through or listen to them, it helps tremendously. But this one, I featured diminutive buttons. Diminutive buttons are simply teeny tiny buttons. They're small. So these are just some really tiny buttons. They could have been used on things such as lingerie, any sort of underclothing. Some may have even been used as collar buttons. Glove buttons, obviously very, very popular. I don't think I have any on here that are from toys, but I think maybe this one is, but I'm not sure. This little tiny white one. So if you have, dolls' clothes, obviously they have teeny tiny buttons like that. So that's what these are. And I just love the rainbow of colors. It's just, and the shapes, like there's a couple different shapes on there. Look at the one in the middle that is embellished with a rhinestone, and that one is a tiny Tagawa nut button. I have never seen a Tagawa nut button or ivory button that small. And the background of this is the golden stuff that you see. The paper is actually wrapping paper, and it's actually wrapping tissue paper. The big base of it is simply a piece of cardboard paper that I cut out. And I cut out the heart myself and embellished it with black marker, wrote the words on it, added, another piece of string that I actually braided together this cotton string. When I braid it together, I use like 3 to 6 strands. And that's what this is. That's what the back looks like, which I thought was a nice surprise because it says I love. And it has little doggy stuff like bones, dishes, paw prints, and we do love doggies. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I am so happy that you decided to watch it. And please remember to subscribe. And also always look at the description and or the comments of the videos. The description is always the most inclusive to see like what freebies I have for you or offers I have for you down there so that you don't miss any deals. It does not make sense to pay full price when you don't have to. And also, if you have any questions, always leave those in the comments because I look at every single comment. I reply to all of them. And also, I hope that you guys stay well, enjoy this beautiful fall weather. Hopefully, we don't end up with hurricanes and tornadoes. But guess what? If we do get shut in, you guys are super lucky because you know there's something that you can do while shut in, which is create. So take care, enjoy your day, be well.